looking at 3 and 4, 7.EE.3. An airplane takes off 12.5 miles south of a city, flies due north at a constant speed of 170 miles per hour. What's the plane's position relative to the city after 45 minutes? So for this one, we might want to draw a picture. So here is where the plane starts, and it's going to fly north. The plane starts 12.5 miles, so we're going to put a city right here. And this distance from here to here is 12.5 miles. And the plane's going to go, and we don't know exactly where it ends, but it's going to go. And it's flying 170 miles per hour. What's the plane's position after 45 minutes? Okay, so it's traveling at 170 miles per hour. And 170 miles per hour means it goes 170 miles in 1 hour. We're going to rewrite this because it's not giving us hours, it's giving us minutes. So we can simply rewrite this as, instead of 170 miles per hour, 170 miles in 60 minutes. And so we're going to rewrite it as that. We don't want 60 minutes. We want 45 minutes. So how far does it go in 45 minutes? And so here you will cross multiply and divide. 45 times, we'll use a calculator for this one. 45 cross multiply, 45 times 170. And then we need to divide by 60. And we get 127.5. So the plane travels 127.5 miles. Okay, so that's how far the plane traveled. We don't notice that here as one of our answer options because that's not the answer. We need to go back to the question. What's the plane's position relative to the city? So the plane traveled, all of this distance is 127.5. But we don't care from where it started. We want to know relative to the city. So all of that distance is 127.5. We don't want all of it. We just want this distance. So we need to factor how far it took for the plane to get to the city. Well, over here we see that from the plane, from where it took off to the city is 12.5 miles. And then it went another so many miles and ended up here. So how far did it go? Well, it took 12.5 miles to get to the city, and the rest would be flying north. So now we needed to subtract 127.5 minus 12.5. 7 minus 2 is 5. So it's 115 miles. And which direction is it flying? It's flying north. So 115 miles north. The answer to 3 is B. Moving on to 4. A bridge currently has 975 vehicles traveling on it per hour during peak time. Okay. Traffic engineer estimates that there will be 3.4% more vehicles each year for the next 2 years. How many more cars will travel on the bridge per hour in 2 years than are traveling now? Round your final answer to the nearest whole vehicle. Okay, so right now there are 975 vehicles, and this represents 100%. What's happening to this over the course of the year? Traffic engineer estimates there will be this many more vehicles, so we need to add 3.4%. So we're going to get 103.4%. We want to know what's 103.4% of 975. So we're going to rewrite this. We need to move the decimal over twice. 1.034 of is multiplication, 975. So we need to do 1.034 times 975. and we get 1,008.15. Now, this answer doesn't make sense because we're talking about cars, but we're not going to round this until the end. So this is how many cars are going to be on the road after 1 year. Well, we don't want 1 year, we want 2 years. So this becomes our new number. So at the beginning of the second year, there are 1,008. And we could round it, but we'll get a more accurate answer if we don't round it yet. There are this many cars on the road at the beginning of, or after 1 year. And this represents 100%. Now what's happening? Well, each year it's increasing by 3.4%. So we need to increase this by 3.4%. So we get 103.4%, and we want to know what is 103.4% of 1,008.15. Again, we will rewrite this because we can't, this is multiplication, and we can't multiply by a percent. So we have to move this over twice. It becomes 1.034 times 1,008.15. And then you'll get your calculator. 1.034 times 1,008.15, and you get 1,042.4271. So this is the number of cars. So this is the number that we have to round. And 0.4, 1,042.4, this rounds to 1,042. Now you're going to look over at your answer and you're going to think that the answer is right here, D, 1,042. That's not right, because we have to go back to our question. How many more cars will travel on the bridge? This is how many total cars. How many did we start with? At the very beginning, we started with 975. So how many more do we have from where we started? And so we will do 1,042 minus 975 to find how many more. So we will borrow here, it becomes a 3, 12 minus 5 is 7. And we'll borrow here, this becomes a 10, borrow again, 13 minus 7 is 6, 9 minus 9 is 0, and 0. So we're left with 67 more cars, or more vehicles. So answer 4 is C.